Is this the biggest shipwreck that's ever happened on the Great Lakes?
You know, I would say as far as just visibility and how far that story has went, I would say yes. I mean, if anybody thinks about a shipwreck on the Great Lakes, Edmund Fitzgerald is really what comes up in the maritime community. And there was a famous song that was composed many years ago by Gordon Lightfoot that was called The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, which was a Billboard hit. And I think if people don't know that song, they can find that and they'll probably recognize the tone. But as far as the sheer impact and what it did for the industry, I would absolutely say it is the most well-recognized shipwreck on the Great Lakes for sure.
So we are marking, Mike, 50 years since it happened on November 10th. Back in the 70s, you know, when I think of shipwrecks, I think of like the old days.
Me too.
Not the decade that Anthony Ponce was born. That's not what I think of. But that is the case. So tell us a few highlights of this ship. Like, what was it carrying and what happened?
Yeah, so I'll take you back. So the history of the ship. It was built in 1958, and it was managed by the Ogilvy Norton Corporation. And at the time that it was built, 729 feet in length. I mean, now we have 1,000-footers that are out there. But at that time, that was really the largest ship, or one of the largest ships out there. And it was really a flagship for that corporation. And its real mission was to haul taconite. And I got this for the viewers at home there in the Chicagoland. This little pellet right here, this is taconite. Oh. And really what this is a component that is used to make steel. So this would bring these heavy loads of taconites, taconite to steel mills to actually form steel. And with that ship, there was 26,000 tons of it that was on board when it did depart Superior.
So what happened there? I understand there was a storm of some kind. You know, doing a quick, Google search, it said 35-foot waves were on Lake Superior at the time. What is your understanding of what happened here?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm not an expert. There's a lot of theories, so I just want to start there because, sure. No one really knows. But the facts that we do know is that when that ship took off on November 9th in the afternoon from Superior, Wisconsin, there were indications that there would be a storm, but not as significant as it played out over the course of 24 hours. As it progressed, that storm got to a point the next day where there was hurricane force winds. Approximately 85 miles per hour is what was, put out there as far as some of these different meteorologists have verified that. As well as the waves, there have been some different ideas of how high those waves have been. Some say 25 feet. It could be above that as well. But we're talking about a significant storm. And, the folks there in the Chicagoland area, being on Lake Michigan there, some of these storms can really creep up and they can be very powerful. Now, let's take a step back as far as weather prediction. At that time, you didn't have an app that you could go onto right away and know what's going on. So it was not as comprehensive as we have today. But again, it was just an unbelievable storm. And, it's just all of the different accounts and the different information that's out there. It was pretty unbelievable. There was one specific instance where there was a ship that was following it called the Arthur M. Anderson that was about 10 miles behind that was there during that storm. And they radioed the captain on the Fitzgerald, McSorley, and they wanted to request, how's things going? Is everything good? And Captain McSorley on the Fitzgerald said, we are holding our own. And, that was, really what people think about that final statement there is just when you think about the Fitzgerald, it's 29 men that started their journey out on that lake doing their job, and Mother Nature, they encountered that. And that's the thing. When I think of the Fitzgerald, I do think of those crew members, that shipwreck, but all the mariners that are out there, even now, they go out onto the water and, there is risk involved with that. But, with this 50th anniversary, preserving the memories of those 29 men and that ship is something that's very special and important to a lot of us.
Mike, was that the last known communication then before it sank, was we're holding our own?
Yeah, a great question. That is the very last communication. Bernie Cooper was the captain on the Anderson, and that was the radio transmission from McSorley and the Fitzgerald. We are holding our own. And in a matter of minutes, the ship that was on radar on the Anderson was no longer on the radar, and at that point, as we all know, the ship was lost. But they really didn't know for sure, because at that time, you know, this is a huge ship. Thinking of that going down was very hard to believe. So again, we don't know exactly what happened, but if you combine the weather situation and, you know, the weight of all of that taconite, again, it's just, I don't want to lead to speculation, but there was a lot of different, you know, situations there that contributed to that unfortunate loss.
We are 6 days away from the 50th anniversary of the shipwreck itself. We're going to take one quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk to Mike more about how the sinking of the ship led to some major changes in the maritime industry, not just here in Chicago, but across the Great Lakes.
And there's a debate about the name, Cantigny, Cantigny. We're going to talk to somebody who knows all about it. It's in Wheaton. It's absolutely beautiful. There's outdoor space. There's this, I think, mansion, too, that I saw online. And we're learning more about its annual light show with Matt LaFond, executive director there. Okay, Matt, give us the name, because there's a whole debate behind the scenes about how do you pronounce it.
Yeah, that's correct. It's Cantigny. It's a silent G. It's a French pronunciation. It's actually a town just north of Paris, France, that Colonel McCormick participated in the Battle of Cantigny. He comes back to his estate, renames it Cantigny in honor of the men and women he served with. That's how we got our name.
Okay, well, we were doing some research, and I've heard already from 5 people that this place is amazing. So away from the holiday season, you know, tell us a bit about your venue. What do you offer there?
Yeah, well, Cantigny, again, is the estate of the late Robert R. McCormick, former editor and publisher of the Chicago Tribune. So when he passed away, he left his beautiful estate here to be run as a public park for the education, recreation, and welfare of the people of Illinois. We have Colonel McCormick's beautiful home, which I'm standing in right now. We have a championship caliber golf course. We have campsites. We have a visitor center, First Division Museum, which is dedicated to the history of the First Division. There's really something for everyone to do here at Cantigny.
Yeah, I was going to come this past weekend, but I am coming soon, probably this weekend. Let's talk about, we're looking at like a winter wonderland outdoor space. How long did it take to transform the grounds there?
Yeah, we have a wonderful team, and they started actually on October 1st, believe it or not, and just finished right before the event opened last week. So Christmas at Cantigny is a half a mile of an illuminated walk with orchestrated holiday music and light effects all the way throughout. You walk through our gardens and our grounds, and then you end up here at the historic McCormick House, which is open to the public during Christmas at Cantigny and completely decorated all along the first floor. And what I'm standing in right now happens to be Freedom Hall. And Freedom Hall was Colonel McCormick's favorite room. And this is where the Colonel actually would invite family, friends, staff, employees that worked here at the farm at the time to celebrate Christmas with him on Christmas Day. So a lot of history right here in Freedom Hall.
I was going to say, it's almost like a little history lesson, even away from the holidays. Not to put you on the spot a little bit, Matt, but, you know, what is some of the other Chicago history that you can find there at the mansion?
Oh, some fantastic history. Actually, above the mantle is a portrait of Joseph Medill. Joseph Medill was Colonel McCormick's maternal grandfather. He actually built this house in 1896. Colonel McCormick expanded it in 1936. Joseph Medill was one of the co-founders of the Chicago Tribune, former mayor of the city of Chicago in 1871, and he helped name the Republican Party and helped get Abraham Lincoln elected.
That tree behind you looks better than some of the trees that we've seen across the country revealed
Honestly,
in these cities. How tall is that tree behind you?
Yeah, this tree is fantastic. That was decorated by our own director of horticulture. This is a 20-foot high tree. And this tree resembles what Colonel McCormick would have had here during the 30s and the 40s. You notice it has extra large ornaments, the old large string bulbs that you don't see too many of anymore. So we've really tried to recreate something that you would have seen when Colonel McCormick was here celebrating Christmas himself.
Oh, that is
Over
so
here.
cool.
It is. It's beautiful. You're
Here in
walking
the
over.
fireplace,
You're
we
walking
have all
over to
these-
something. What are you walking over to?
Walking over to the fireplace with all these poinsettias. So we have our own production department and our own greenhouses here on property, and we grow our own poinsettias. So we grew 3,600 different poinsettias in 18 different varieties, and they are on display all throughout Christmas at Cantigny and for sale. An interesting fact about these poinsettias is they start growing them in June. So that's how much love, care, and attention goes into every single plant. But I think you'll agree it's worth the effort.
Yeah, it looks better than any other same for sale outfit.
I'm going to be honest. I did not expect Matt to have such a beautiful background for this interview. It really is eye-catching. Tell us, if people are interested, what do you need to do in order to, you know, enter Cantini? And also, how long do usually people stay there for? Is it a couple hours? Is it a whole, you know, evening type of event?
Yeah, great question. So Christmas at Cantini runs now through January 4th. We're open Wednesday through Sunday. We are closed on Thanksgiving. Tickets they start at $9 for kids, $13 for adults, depending on the time of the day that you arrive. And there's so much to do here for Christmas at Cantini. When you first arrive, you'll walk through the light show. You can take your time here at Cantini. You can actually get a drink. And let me show you this. This is pretty impressive. One of the favorite features of Colonel McCormick was his hidden bar. And when you come here for Christmas at Cantini, we open the bar up, and it shows Colonel McCormick's hidden bar, which has an Art Deco style to it.
Wow.
And you can get a hot chocolate, some wine, a holiday crafted drink in there, and then take that and tour throughout the rest of the first floor of the McCormick house. We also have an ice rink. So if you don't have your own ice skates, we'll rent you ice skates. We have an area outside the ice rink which has fire pits, cabanas, so you could spend a whole evening here at Cantini. There's plenty to do for everyone. I would say the light show would take you an hour, but you could spend up to 2 more hours here at Cantini enjoying yourself.
I love it. Yeah, the drink is really the seducer here for me to come out, because sometimes, you know, when you're out with your kids, you need something to kind of like keep you going at the same time. And also the price point, because when you look at other prices across our area, it's really expensive when you're talking about a family of 4, a family of 5. Let me ask you this before we let you go, Matt. We are running out of time here. What makes this light show different from all the rest, in your opinion?
In my opinion, it's because not only do we have the illuminated lights out on the grounds, which are spectacular themselves, but we have the historic McCormick House here, which you don't get to see decorated for the holidays very often. And we let people go up on the 2nd floor for a Noel lounge for a dining experience as well. And then we have the ice rink. So there's so many different elements that make up Christmas at Cantini, which makes it really special. We hope everyone comes out and makes Cantini part of their holiday traditions.
One more time, where can people get tickets? Is there a website?
There is cantini.org. Much more information and tickets available.
Okay, Matt, you have been an excellent spokesperson, and thank you again for a little bit of a tour in the McCormick Mansion there.
Injured at
a few weeks ago, a group of 3 friends, we have 2 of the 3, spent their Monday visiting every CTAL stop in order to break a Guinness World Record. They had to do it in 9 hours and finished with just about a minute to spare, 8 hours, 58 minutes, and 55 seconds. That's incredible.
Wow.
Exactly.
They're here to tell us more about their experience. Job and Matthew, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much for having us.
We know that you're busy trying to break all these records because there's another one that you guys are trying to do too. But what made you want to attempt this record?
Well, it stemmed from a dream.
Okay.
And I know that sounds
Literally,
like an
it was a dream.
exaggeration.
Oh, like an actual...
No. I've based some important life decisions on dreams.
Really,
But go ahead.
Anthony?
Yeah.
It's true. So essentially, Matt found me because of the new segment that you did.
Yep, with Joe.
Running all the streets of Chicago.
So thanks to Fox for that.
Hey,
go.
good. Well, I'm so glad.
Fantastic. And so Matt is trying to also run all the streets of Chicago. He's at 30%, I'm at 75%. And so we were like, why don't we just go to, I had the dream of going to every like community area in Chicago, so there's 77 of them. I'm like, why don't we just spend the whole day and go to all of them, just running? Maybe that could be a world record. And then Matt was like, well, what about the CTA? Why don't we go to every CTA
Exactly.
running? And we're like, well, that would be difficult. I wonder if there's like a record for the CTA, but to go on the trains, but we can incorporate a little bit running. So that's what
That's true.
happened.
It was because he texted me at like 6:30 in the morning, so it was a dream. Or else why would he be up?
That's true.
So when you looked into it, there was a record that needed to be broken.
So there's unofficial records.
Okay.
Because like stations are always being built and stuff like that, there's no current record, but they have like a minimum. And the minimum is like 9 hours, 15 minutes. So we just decided to go for it.
So how chaotic was this day? Because if I remember right, this day was when we had the last like significant snowfall, right? That we
You
just
did it on the day of a
Saturday.
snowfall.
It was on that Monday.
You set the
Better
record.
story.
Weeks ago.
So the record was 9:15 roughly, the unofficial record. How did you go about planning the exact route? I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to the CTA. How did you guys map it out?
Well, we tried to like incorporate a little bit of running. Because like the CTA map is kind of like a spider leg, so it's like it goes out, but it doesn't really loop around. It only loops in the loop. And so what we did is we tried to incorporate runs in between the end of lines. So for example, we did the end of the green line, ran to the end of the blue line. Only like
and then hopped on the blue line, came back in.
And how long approximately was that? Like what length?
Got it.
Was it a mile or so? Half a mile?
Oh yes, you ran from O'Hare.
We did 3 runs, maybe 4 total miles that day, but part of it was in the blizzard. That was cool.
That's what I'm saying,
So you get better footage that way.
So wait, if you went to from the blue to the brown, did you get off at O'Hare and then run to Kimball? Is that how?
No.
So I can tell you the whole really quick.
Okay.
So essentially we started at Linden in the purple line.
Oh, right, purple.
We went to Howard, and then we took the yellow line to Dempsey Skokie. It was a 50-minute delay, but then we came back, and then we went all the way down to 95th, and then 95th we came back to 63rd, ran to Cottage Grove, took the train to King Drive, took the bus all the way to Ashland 63rd. I sound like a nerd here. But,
No.
Then we went all the way up to Roosevelt, and then we took the Orange Line all the way to Midway. Midway, we took the 54B bus to 54th and Cermak. Pink Line went all the way to Clinton. Clinton, we went all the way to the end of
Harlem. Green Line.
Harlem.
The green line? Thank you
Blue
for
line.
putting up the map. This is helpful.
This is helpful, yeah.
And then the blue line, we ran to the blue line.
From the end of the green line?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we went all the way up to
Belmont?
Belmont, yeah.
Belmont.
Ran all the way up to Kimball, went down through the brown line, did the loop, and then finished off at O'Hare. So we didn't do...
Oh, there you go. That's smart.
You know what?
And that's not waste at all, because you're talking to a CTA nerd here, and then
a traffic reporter, which don't say my job, Job. Hey, I have a task for the people behind the scenes, because if you go to my Instagram, you look under my followers, I follow Job, and he has some great footage from that day, too, of you guys actually running in the snowstorm. You brought your Chicago flag, because if I remember right, you had this tied like a
cape?
Yes.
Like a Superman
just
cape?
the actual one. Look, it has
Yeah, it's
yeah, from the snow,
Because
right?
people would stop us and like, what?
Battle worn.
So we just...
Battle worn.
Yeah, eventually.
That's
Exactly, I love it.
really awesome.
So how?
There it is.
But let me ask you again, guys. How chaotic was actually getting to each stop? And you probably faced some delays then because of the snow.
Yeah.
How did that go?
It was, I mean, you make the best of it. Like, I was in charge of the log, and I was trying to be like, we're literally in world record time. Let's keep it up, you know, and so just motivate people. But it was fun because we're running to the green line in the blizzard, in the snow, and some random guy is like, I don't know what you guys are doing, but keep doing it. And I'm like, that's cool. And if people were honking, and like, we got flags on, and people have no idea what's going on, and it's like, yeah, so it's fun. So you make do with difficulties because there's that
Love this
motivation.
city.
Okay,
I love
so
this
you weren't
city.
that angry when you hit a train and there was a delay?
He would be angrier, but
I'll be angry.
But Job is competitive. I know that by
That's
now.
true.
After your
What about a couple things? Eating and using the restroom.
Yeah.
yeah, eating. Well, he was in charge of packing the food.
Oh, so you brought.
It was a
You
little
carried.
light on the
You
food.
carried. Okay.
There were some complaints by some people.
Yeah, we ate lunch at 9 a.m.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Might have ran out of food a little early in the day.
Wait, what time did you start?
7:21.
7:21.
But we had to obviously take the train on up.
Right.
Blizzard. So I woke up at 4 a.m. that day. In order to
Wow.
ultimately get there.
Yeah.
At 7:21.
When we were running from the green line to the blue line, we did stop at a Dunkin' and went to the bathroom.
Oh, there you go.
Hey.
Yeah, but we couldn't like go to the bathroom outside of a bathroom because Guinness specifically states you cannot break any rules when you're attempting a record. So like
You can't violate the law.
So no public indecency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't. Okay, yeah. I would like to dive more into that. Okay, how did Guinness get involved in this? And then what was the process to get the record actually, I don't know if the word certified is the right word, but tell me about the process.
There's a lot of evidence. Like, he was in charge of submitting it all. A lot of pieces they require.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very thorough.
essentially, so you have to like apply, and then they send you like the evidence packet. And when they send you the evidence packet, then you just have to follow all the rules. We had to film the whole thing.
That's what his brother did. His brother wore a camera to record it for 9 hours. So it's a lot of work.
Now it's in Guinness's hands, right? All the evidence?
Yes.
Or is it not yet?
Yeah,
And how long does it take for you to know if you got the Guinness World Record?
12 weeks of approval.
Wow.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We did it on the 10th of November, so now we're waiting about 12 weeks for
Oh, okay. So maybe early 2026.
That's the plan.
Yep.
And that's about the time, hopefully, you'll get your running every Chicago street
We'll see.
done.
Spring of 2026.
Yeah, let's talk about that for you both, because that's another layer to all of this. Because I did a story about Joe. What was that? Last spring? Gosh.
April, yeah.
April? Yeah, I remember that it was actually kind of snowy that day. You were about, I think, 25% done. How far you've gone, at least this summer, and then Matthew, you chime in right after too.
Yeah, so I'm now at 75% of the whole city. So yeah, hopefully become the first person in history to run every single street in Chicago. And then me and Matthew, we do long runs on the weekends.
Yep.
Most times. And
I'm at about 30%.
Okay,
So I
wow.
figured take the scenic route, take a little more.
For the record, there are 4,000
miles.
4,000 miles of streets in Chicago.
Right.
The only factoid I know is that Western's the longest one, I think.
Yes. Oh, that's good. You know, I use that in trivia night sometimes.
Yes. You got to use that in
I did
trivia.
Western is if you want to train for a marathon, do Western because that's 40 kilometers.
You know, Joe, I want to try to quiz myself and remember your story. If I remember right, a few years back, you were climbing a mountain in New England, and you had an accident. You had fallen off a piece of that mountain, and you were in the hospital, correct? And that's what kind of encouraged you to start running, because you had hypothermia from that.
Yeah, essentially after that like mountain accident, I kind of had like a second life, like a rude awakening essentially. And I just thought like life's too short to, you know, just be ordinary. So I just want to do extraordinary things.
Can we flash what we just had up on the screen again? That was I love this. Okay, so this comes up in AI mode on Google. How long would it take to run every Chicago street? Look, his name is right there.
Gotta get Matthew's
A
name.
person named, how do you say your full name?
Joe Barbosa.
Job Barbosa, okay, is currently attempting this challenge and expects to finish by the end of 2025. Is AI right, or are we thinking
I
2026?
think I actually pulled that from my story. Yep.
No chance. Yeah, I think they pulled it from your story. No chance 2025.
We're gonna have to do an update for you.
Totally.
Matthew, I want to know about your journey. What made you want to also run every Chicago street?
Well, one, I think Chicago is the best city in the world.
True.
Every neighborhood, I want to go to every neighborhood. I want to go to every restaurant. I want to talk to all the local people and truly experience the culture of every single place. And I will try to get people to do that. So some days I'll be like, I'm going to Roseland. I'm going to West Pullman today. I'm going to Garfield Park. And people are like, why would you go there? I'm like, well, why not? The people there are great. There's great places to go to. So I run there to encourage people to literally, our entire city is worth exploring.
Oh, completely. Do you have any streets, it probably all depends on the weather that day, but do you guys have any streets that stand out to you as a favorite or memorable in any way? I know that growing up on the, not growing up, but living on the north side for a long time, I grew to love the street of Ravenswood, right along the tracks there, because there are so many hidden, not just shops, but studios and restaurants on that street. And it's not one of those typical, like, you know, Milwaukee Avenue or Lincoln Avenue where it's just bar after bar, restaurant after Ravenswood. It's got this industrial quality to it. So I always love the street of Ravenswood. Any streets jump out at you or neighborhoods that you just absolutely loved running through?
Me personally, I like the so-called unsafe neighborhoods that people don't really go to, because in those neighborhoods, like, people actually chat to you and say hi to you. Like, a few days ago, I was running with a flag, and like, literally on the run, like 20 people said, hey bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Running with a flag and stuff like that, and they came to chat to me. And so, like, yeah, neighborhoods like Woodlawn, Englewood, these types of neighborhoods, I love running in because people are so friendly. I don't have a favorite. I like everywhere in Chicago, really. Yeah.
What stood out to you?
I have a lot of favorites, but I would say South Lawndale, because I like going to Little Village. You can see authentic food there, talk to local people, practice Spanish, and pretend like you don't know it, but I can, you know, understand.
Get by.
So it's good. So but I wouldn't have gone there had I not been on this running journey. So there's just so many people I know and friends with who run the lake all the time, or the 606.
Right.
And I say, but that's the equivalent of running the treadmill outside. It's the same every day. Get off the treadmill, and you don't even run the streets by your house. You don't know your neighbors, so let's just go out and explore every corner.
You know, I was so worried about Joe when he first told me this, and I was interviewing him. I was like, you know, had there been any stories, like scary things that had happened? You told me that you were running, and actually a ceramic plate kind of fell in front of you, and that was luckily the scariest thing that happened over the summer.
Did someone throw it at you, or did it just fall, or
a skyscraper or something? I don't know. You said you didn't know. Anything else that happened over the summer? Have you stayed safe? Matthew, you told me the same.
The scariest thing in Chicago are cars. Like, especially in the south side where people don't expect runners to be. Like, people only look to, like, their right, but they don't look to their left. So, like, they run through stoplights, stuff like that. Me and Matthew, we, like, got hit nearly got hit.
That's true. I didn't have to roll over the hood, but it was close.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, man, if you run or bike long enough in the city of Chicago, you will have an incident or two.
Are you ready to
this panel we have in studio now. We are lucky enough to be joined by 4.5-year-old Olivia, who underwent a fetoscopic procedure for spina bifida. We have her mother, Lauren. They're both from Chicago. And then we have Dr. Eamon Shaban from the Chicago Institute for Fetal Health at Lurie Children's Hospital. Welcome to all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your story, which is super inspiring. Lauren, I actually want to start with you.
Okay,
Take me through from the beginning. She's 4.5.
Yes.
Okay, she looks to be just absolutely thriving right now. We just had a good conversation during the commercial break. I learned all about her favorite fruit, whole strawberry.
Whole strawberry.
Whole strawberry. She doesn't like them sliced.
Right?
And I also like whole pears, which is you can't eat the pits.
Whole pears.
You cannot eat the pits. She's already, learning to consume fruit properly.
Right, responsibly.
Lauren, all right, so take me through from the beginning. When you were pregnant, how you found out about her condition and kind of how you responded.
Yeah, so at around 15 weeks I had the AFP test and my numbers came back positive, which is not like diagnostic, but just indicates there could be a neural tube defect. After that I saw an MFM who did a high-level ultrasound and then confirmed the diagnosis that she did in fact have open spina bifida. So from there, that was kind of like the diagnosis day, as it's known for moms and dads. It's pretty shattering because when you get pregnant, you kind of have this whole world that you picture that's going to happen, and then that disappears and you don't really know how to put the pieces back together. I was very fortunate. The MFM I had knew Dr. Shaban personally, and so he referred us to the Chicago Institute for Fetal Health, and that's kind of where we found ourselves the next step.
Okay, let's talk about Dr. Shaban. Run us through exactly what spina bifida is, and from a medical perspective, your reaction when you found out about Olivia's diagnosis.
Yeah, so spina bifida is an opening in the spine. Typically, the spine develops as a closed cylinder, and during development, it doesn't quite close, usually in the lower back. And so you find the spine is open and the spinal cord is exposed to the outside. That's spina bifida.
Okay, and what are the, if it's untreated, what happens if it's untreated?
Yeah, it has obviously a lot of neurologic complications as a result of it. Complications with leg weakness, sometimes leg paralysis. But it also has complications in the brain that can lead to accumulation of fluid on the brain called hydrocephalus. And also the back of the brain, the cerebellum, can sink down into the spine, something called the Chiari malformation or hindbrain herniation.
Okay, so you guys actually intervened. Look at you. Look at you on the beach.
It was me on the ballet thing.
Oh, that was you. Do you do ballet?
Yeah, I do ballet, and I wish to do it again today.
Are you going to do it again today?
Yeah, maybe.
Can you tell everyone real quick, Olivia, how long it's going to take you to turn 5? That long.
That long.
Yeah, that long. She said it was going to take her all day to turn 5. So you intervened before Olivia was even birthed. How does that even work?
Yeah. So there's a lot of counseling and discussion, and we have a large team that's involved, and it's led by Dr. Robin Bowman, who's an amazing neurosurgeon. Olivia's neurosurgeon and her team. But basically, in mid-gestation, just after that, around 23, 24, 25 weeks, we'll actually go in through an incision in the mom's abdomen, and then with tiny instruments, enter the uterus and repair, just like we do after birth, repair the back to cover the spinal cord, to close it, put it back inside, and then cover it with layers of tissue, just like we would do after birth, but we do it before birth.
On the developing babies.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. Lauren, what was that experience like for you? Is Olivia your first?
She is our first.
Oh my gosh, okay. So you had not even gone through.
Right.
Take us through that day.
It's a miracle what they do. It's truly miraculous. So yeah, we had the surgery. Recovery is a bit rough because you're trying to stay pregnant as long as you possibly can, against all odds, it seems, and you're kind of stuck on bed rest, like very minimal activity. So yeah, we stayed pregnant till 34 weeks. I think my water broke at 33 and 2. We were admitted, and then she came
so
at
about 7 weeks early.
Yeah, which is a bit, I think, for the surgery, pretty good. Yeah. So.
And what has her journey been like since then? I understand this was not the only surgery.
No, so we were in the NICU for about 2 months. So that was a little rough with preemie issues, and then her closure was still healing when she got out. And since then, she's had about 11 surgeries. 2 of those are ear tubes, but the other ones are all related to spina bifida. So he mentioned hydrocephalus, so she has a shunt in her head. And then she had a detethering. She's had some kidney issues, so she's had kidney surgeries as well. But obviously, she's whatever she's doing.
She is looking at herself in the monitors. We've got monitors here in the studio, and I think she likes.
Yeah, she's very happy to be on camera.
Can you talk about some of the most meaningful milestones that she has hit in her? You're happy. We're happy too. We're happy to have you too.
Yeah. You know, when you met her, she probably will talk your ear off forever. She had a speech delay until she was probably 3, probably like related.
Obviously making up for lost time.
She has completely made up for lost time. Her first steps were really incredible. She took them a little after she turned 2 and started walking by herself. She then had to have a detethering. It was in a summer where we had 5 surgeries in 6 months.
Oh
so
my gosh.
Intense. But then after that, after like all the surgeries were done, she started walking and she's literally never stopped. She played soccer on her Park District soccer team, ballet. She's runs around with her friends and her sister. She's a very happy, very silly, amazing girl.
Dr. Shaban, when you hear about these milestones, which ones to you, from a medical perspective, were the ones where you said, oh wow, she is now on track?
Yeah, you know, we just are part of the very beginning of life, and our part is to just ensure the best possible start. And as I hear all these things here and look at Olivia, I realize it's just being a normal kid in a normal family and doing all the things that her parents have always dreamed that she would do, and all the things that she'll do in life. And so it's all beautiful and wonderful.
I love hearing about it. Now, in terms of her forward trajectory, I understand there have been, more than 10 surgeries at this point total. Some of them didn't have to do with spina bifida. I mean, I know a lot of kids who had those tubes. Oh man. What does the near future look like for Olivia?
Yeah, it's a large team of folks at the Spina Bifida Center at Lurie. Been doing this for 60 years, getting led by Dr. Bowman. The goal is an independent, successful, happy, healthy life. And that requires maintenance of care, multidisciplinary care from orthopedic surgeons, urologists, neurosurgeons. And so it's continued care throughout to allow her to be able to go to school and continue to grow through to college and to become an independent adult. And I think she's really going to be just fine.
I would say so, based on talking to Olivia for a short time. Lauren, what has this whole journey done to your perspective on resilience, on family, on your own birth story, which you had a preconceived notion of what it might unfold, how it might unfold? What are your takeaways here?
I guess just being, I'm much more aware that anything can happen, right? But that something Dr. Bowman, that is mentioned, has said to me in the NICU when I was hounding her for specific answers about how the future would go, as I am wont to do. She just told me something to the effect of, well, if that happens, then we'll just manage. And she said it, if you know Dr. Bowman, she said it so matter-of-factly that I was like, oh, yeah, we will just manage. And I think it's kind of taught our family that with amazing people like Dr. Shaban and Lurie Children's and the Chicago Institute for Fetal Health and all these amazing teams, and Olivia and how great she is in our family, that, we'll manage.
I love this attitude. It is so inspiring to hear from you here. Now, Dr. Shaban, what do you think this whole situation, I mean, my mind is blown that you guys can actually intervene on that level that early at 24, 25 weeks. What does this say about the future of fetal care in terms of advances that are happening here in 2025?
Yeah, that's a great question. You can see that Olivia has an amazing mom, right, that will do anything for her child. And we want to lessen the burden on her mother to have, rather than having surgery, to have a minimally invasive procedure, which we're doing now. And in the future, to have less and less invasive procedure so it's safer for mom and better for the baby. And in the future, we hope to continue to innovate. And someday, hopefully, we'll have a shot or a pill for this. And I can just retire and just show up at the family reunions and enjoy the beauty of what we're seeing. That's really an amazing thing.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you have a long and successful career, but that would be kind of nice to have it in pill form. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. Olivia, you are a delight. Do you like seeing yourself in the monitor there, Olivia? Are you waving to yourself? Oh, she is just the cutest. Thank you all so much for joining us, for sharing your story. Is there any, Doctor, is there any place online perhaps where folks can go to kind of learn more about this? If parents want to look into this further, if they may be facing similar challenges?
Yeah, we have a website, the Chicago Institute for Fetal Health at Lurie Children's and Northwestern Medicine. If you just search Chicago Institute for Fetal Health, it'll come right up, or the Lurie Children's website. And then we always have a nurse, like experienced nurse, always available to chat.
Love it. Dr. Shaban, Lauren, Olivia, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here on Chicago Now. We so appreciate it. Let's have her take us to break. Can you wave goodbye to everybody? We're going to be back with more Chicago Now right after this.
I was in a car accident. I lost my memories of the last 8 years of my life.
Tuesdays, Fox's critically acclaimed hit Doc is all new.
I need to be the doctor that I was. I will do whatever it takes.
And you can watch it anytime.
Every path we choose comes with a price. What's wrong? I just had a memory.
Doc, all new. Tuesdays on Fox and watch anytime on Hulu.
Our state showdown is just getting started.
Fox Wednesday.
Utah didn't make it past night one.
The competition gets stiffer.
Kentucky has come to play.
And hotter than ever.
I am here to show the world that there is more to Idaho than potatoes. Spring break, yacht party, nude dude party, pass.
Wait a minute. I'm not doing a show with somebody more handsome than I am.
The Floor is all new Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Last minute gift shop.
live shot to another. I am sold. This is pretty fantastic. Though it's not necessarily.
Look at the pictures that are on the screen right now.
I love Morton.
This is the place that you want to be when we're talking about getting closer to the holiday season. You've got to check out some beautiful holiday lights this year at the Morton Arboretum. And you guys have a dazzling display that you won't want to miss. Kate Fitzgerald joins us, special events planner, to tell us more about this 21+ preview event happening before it opens.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, so
she walked in and she goes, I bring beer. So instantly, she's everyone's favorite on the show.
And where the party's at.
Yes, exactly right.
That's exactly what Illumibrew is. Illumibrew kicks off our Illumination season. Illumination runs until January 3rd. It's the Morton Arboretum's light display. We feature 20 immersive exhibits, and you get to taste beer while you're there.
Look at the video we're looking at. That is, I mean, that's one of those things where, you know, if you got a little Scrooge in you, if you got a little Grinch in you, if that doesn't get you in this, then nothing's going to do it. I mean, how much, I mean, when did you guys start putting this together? I can't imagine this is, you guys started stringing these things up last weekend.
Yeah, it starts in fall. So late September, early October, we start installing all the lights. It really is like it's a stunning show. It really highlights the features of the Arboretum, the natural scenery, the magnificent trees that we have. It's a really beautiful time. What you're seeing there is the Golden Glade. This year we have a Vivid Creatures exhibit. There is a large 20-foot deer that stands in that Golden Glade this year. It's not pictured just here, but you have to come and see it. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, what beautiful photo ops that you would have. Okay, and then plus you can go anytime, but this is going to be even extra special. You're talking about the Illumibrew. What kind of drinks did you bring with us today?
Yeah, so
these are just a couple of options, I'm guessing.
Look at the cool cup.
Yeah, just a couple options. We will have 45 different breweries here. As you can see, I just have 4 beers today.
Never say just
You want to bring 45 for us?
Yeah, I mean, if you could do it. Let's crack a few. This one here is one of our collaborations, the Morton Arboretum and Noon Whistle Brewing. It's very timely. This is called the Aurora Borealis.
Oh, you're just doing a little. I love it.
So this is one that you'll only get at the Arboretum on Friday. This is the first time we're going to see it. So, but I see you poured some other ones.
Yeah, I did the
hefty pour.
I didn't know we were doing a splash.
No,
I poured
those are the types of pours that you'll get at the Arboretum on Friday night.
I did the Snickerdoodle Cream Ale. Which sounds great.
So there's going to be a ton of festive flavors here. This isn't just your summer beers. You're going to get a lot of Christmas festive beers. Does it taste like a Snickerdoodle?
It really does.
Amazing. And then you've got the Dreamsicle Flurries. That's from Pollyanna Brewery.
And it's almost like a thicker consistency. It really is kind of like a milkshake a little.
There's a lot of cream ales there, darker stouts if that's more your style. Over here too we have
local beer, St. Charles.
Everything is local. So everything is going to be from the Chicagoland area. I think we've got one brewery from Wisconsin, but you're going to be supporting your local brewers when you come to this event.
Big fan of that.
How many times have you guys done this event, and how popular is it? I mean,
oh gosh,
has to be.
It's very popular. We love to offer this opportunity to anyone that's 21+. This is a time to leave your kids at home. So people really enjoy seeing the lights, not having strollers in their way, getting to taste beer. We've been doing it for the past several years. It's always really popular. It's a great way to kick off the season.
And to that point, I would imagine it's going to be popular now and is only going to get more popular as we get closer into closer to Christmas. Maybe for people who want to avoid the crowds, maybe come now. Now seems like a good time to do it.
Come now, yeah. You can come any other day throughout the season. There's plan ahead pricing, so you just want to, if you know the date that you want to go, make sure that you buy those tickets early. We've got other fun nights throughout the season too. Actually on Wednesdays, select Wednesdays in December, we're letting dogs come to the Arboretum. So you can get an amazing photo op with your dog, with the lights. It's wow, beautiful.
Beautiful girls is allowed? Okay.
Yep, just put a Santa hat on that dog.
Sold.
Yep, you're good. And then on select Fridays too, if you aren't totally in the holiday spirit, we mix up the music a little bit. It's called Electric Illumination. You can come out, listen to different music, see the same light display.
Okay, Kate, we have a lot to get to, but we want to take a quick break before we crack open maybe
more beer.
More beer.
You're going to get trucking, my man. All right, we'll be right back after this. Happening tomorrow night, and Kate Fitzgerald here brought us a bunch of different taste
And they're
of
so
what's going to
good.
be at the party tomorrow at Morton Arboretum. What did I just pour myself? This was a mead?
Yeah, so you poured a mead for yourself. So if you aren't into beer, don't worry. Our event is going to have tons of ciders, meads. They're really tasty, festive. And then, you know what, if you're not into beer at all, you just want to drive your friends to this event and have a good time, we do have a designated driver ticket. It gets you unlimited hot chocolate, unlimited hot cider, and then we also have a non-alcoholic brewing option. So that is from Go Brewing. You can get a can of that and walk around with your friends.
That's cool, because we do want to emphasize, like, yes, this is a great time, and you can go out and you can try a couple of beers, but we want everybody to be safe, and we want everyone to do this, you know, what do they say, drink responsibly, and do it the right way so that, you know, you can continue to enjoy the Morton Arboretum for years to come.
Absolutely, this is for everyone.
So how far apart is each, like, stop for a brew? Or do you kind of go to the same designated area when you need a refill?
Yeah, so it is a 1 mile ADA accessible walking trail. So those 45 breweries are going to be paced throughout.
Nice.
Really, there'll be one as soon as you need another drink.
45 throughout a mile? That's like every couple of steps.
Yep,
that mile gets easier and easier as you go along.
Truly is a party. People have a great time. It's plenty of time to enjoy the light displays while also talking to your local brewers and asking them about their beers.
Oh my gosh, how fun.
And I love that. I love the word local, though. It's such a great reminder of how many of these great brews are from right here in our area. And if you can support these sort of local businesses while getting to experience the sort of things that we're looking at right now, I feel like it's a two birds, one stone kind of thing.
Yeah, it's an absolutely wonderful experience. And then when you purchase a ticket, you also are supporting us in our effort to conserve trees at the Arboretum and all the science that goes behind that.
Yeah, no kidding. So if people are interested, I'm interested. Tomorrow night, where can folks get tickets?
Yeah, so they can go to mortonarb.org. They can get tickets for Illumibrew. If tomorrow night doesn't work for you, you can see tickets for the rest of the illumination days and the other days that I mentioned.
And it's also, you know, important to note that the Arboretum is out there even after the holiday. You guys do amazing stuff 365 days a year. So even after this event wraps up, you guys are going to have something else planned up.
Yep, we'll have a lot more. The Vivid Creatures exhibit that I mentioned, those large life-sized or larger than life-size creatures, those will be up going into the winter, and they'll be amazing to see in the snow also.
That's why. How far ahead are you guys? I mean, I know, you know, we haven't even gotten through this one yet. Are you guys always 2 or 3 events ahead?
Absolutely.
Oh, that gives me a lot of anxiety.
You know, it must be fun planning not only some of the visuals that we see on the beautiful pictures we're showing, but also, do you guys sit down and have a serious meeting and tasting some of these brews before you put it out to the public?
Yeah, how do you select who gets to be? I'm sure a lot of breweries want to be a part of this.
Yeah, we work with another vendor, Ravenswood. They help us select the beers, talk to the brewers. We love to curate this festive collection to really spark the holiday spirit in an early time where, you know, it might not feel like the holidays yet.
I'd imagine, I'm picturing like a good reality show would be following the different breweries trying to get to be a part of this, because I'd imagine you're not going to find a more captive audience than the folks that are out there, and a more happy audience.
Everyone always has a blast. It's really, truly the best time to be at the Arboretum.
And this day and age where you can't go to any kind of holiday event without taking pictures for the gram and having everything, I'd imagine you're not going to get better pictures.
So many great photo opportunities. It's truly amazing.
Like, if this isn't your Christmas card, then it's really just on you.
Yeah, no kidding. I want to give a shout out real quick to Standard Meadery because, like I said, I don't like beer, so this is a good option for me. Cranberry apple cinnamon. Something else I typically don't grab for is like an apple cinnamon alcoholic drink, but man, you like it? Standard Meadery, you guys have done some great stuff over in Villa Park. Thank you very much.
Well, I won't complain because I do like beer. So I'm very happy with this selection that you've brought. I've been knocking out this the Clown Car Snickerdoodle Cream Ale. Big fan.
I'll leave it for you. You can finish it later.
I'm sure the bosses are saying, you know, that's enough.
Do you mind getting him a designated driver?
Yeah, that glass is looking a little low. One more time. We can't let you go without getting all the information people need one more time.
Yeah, so Illumibrew is tomorrow night. You can get your tickets at mortonarb.org. You get to taste from 45 different breweries and see our amazing light display.
Okay.
And honestly, even honestly, I know we're talking a lot about the alcohol. Even without that, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
like
exactly. And the weather's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Weather's looking great.
Weekend.
Yeah, we couldn't ask for better.
So what are the chances you could get Gabby and me to the front of the line?
We'll see you there. Come on out.
We want VIP experience.
Yeah, I can do that for you.
All right, sold.
Kate Fitzgerald, thank you.
Thank you.
The Cole Children's Museum right in the heart of Glenview, and here to talk about the Cole lights is Mike Delfini, president and CEO of the Cole Children's Museum. I love that you have the light display behind you already all lit up, and it's absolutely cute. Yes, it is. Tell us about this year's light display. What makes it so unique?
I sure will. So thanks for having me, by the way. So in the Chicago area, there are a lot of big light shows, as we all know, in the big parks. But what makes us unique is that ours is completely interactive, where the kids get to control the lights. So that tree that you see now on the screen, kids are pressing buttons, they're changing the colors, they can do whatever combination they want. There's a twinkle train, they get to ride through the park. Of course, adults are welcome to pile into the car, and they ride through tunnels of lights and firefly meadow that is replicating fireflies in the summertime. Lots of fun interactives. There's one where they can talk into a funnel and they can light up a curtain of light. So if they whisper, it's a small light display. If they scream and shout and sing, we let them do whatever they want. It's a big light display, so it's super interactive. No one does anything like that in the area. And I have to say, it's super easy to do. With generations of family, if you have grandparents coming in for the holidays, you can take them with, and they would love it. So it's a great night. We have Santa on Friday nights. We have Elsa and Anna from Frozen every night. Free popcorn, hot cider, too hot.
I'm there.
Lots of fun things for the kids.
You know what? And I will say, Mike, that it seems like this weekend would be a perfect weekend. Not only is the weather great, but so many people are going to be downtown Chicago for the tree lighting ceremony and then the parade that's happening on Saturday. So maybe getting away to Glenview might be perfect. You're probably, I mean, you're going to say yes. Of course, making the trip up to Glenview would be worth it. And maybe getting away from the city for the weekend.
Yeah, totally worth it. I'm in the western suburbs, and it's about a 40-minute drive. Free parking. We're right next to the Glen up here in Glenview, so if you want to make a night of it, although our museum cafe will be open, you can grab a bite to eat before or after right here in the Glen Center, a block south of us. It's such a fun night for the little ones. So if you have that, 2 to 6 year old in the family, this is the place to be. It's right size for them. And on top of it, we have Curious George special exhibit featuring throughout the holiday season. Who doesn't love Curious George? My spirit animal.
joining us via Zoom. It's holiday season.
Yes.
And the holiday season is not the same without, I can hear the music in my head right now. The Nutcracker, everybody, and A&A Ballet is putting together a special production that you won't forget if you see it. We're getting a sneak peek this morning with Alexi Kremnev. He is co-founder and artistic director of A&A Ballet. Alexi, good morning. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Good morning, guys.
Okay, where are you joining us from right now? Where's the studio that you're joining us from right now?
It's A&A studio on Plymouth Court. It's in Printers Row. It's pretty much in downtown Chicago.
Okay, yeah,
you're just... There's a lot of snow outside, so it's cold, it's winter, it's about Nutcracker season.
Yes, it is Nutcracker season for sure. And yeah, Printers Row, I would say, yeah, you're like 2 miles away. We're a little north of you right now. But give us an idea. Okay, it's your version of the Nutcracker. Tell us about this production and perhaps what sets A&A Ballet's version of this famous ballet apart from other versions.
I would say like it's more entertaining, and it's happening in Chicago in 1920s. And we thought about historical period of time, and we thought about Art Deco. Obviously, it's one of the most beautiful eras in history, and especially in history of culture and fashion, like in design. Especially if you look at the buildings in Chicago, it's a lot of Art Deco buildings. So it's all combined in the production. If you look at the backdrop in our production, you can see like scenes of Chicago, of 1920s Chicago. So it's entertaining, it's funny, it's fast moving. So if you have a family and if you have small kids, it's absolutely perfect show for them.
That sounds so amazing. And even though it was 100 years ago, you're so right. There's so much Chicago history tied to that time. Are the dancers receptive to you doing this based off the 1920s? Are they excited about it, learning a little bit about the history of that time period?
The time period, if you look back, about 100 years ago, it was time of ballet russe. And it was extremely popular in Europe. So influence of ballet russe came in the United States and also in Latin America, in Brazil, like for example Argentina, etc. So from 1920s it was hugely influential period of promoting dance, especially classical ballet. And at that time it gave a huge boost for the future development of classical ballet, classical training, and classical ballet entertainment in the United States.
Alexi, we see 2 dancers behind you in the background. I wonder if you could set the scene here, and I don't know if you can give us a little taste of what folks can expect if they come out to the ballet. And
yes, absolutely. We have Clara behind me, and we have Nutcracker Prince, and we have a small piece for you to show. It's a part of the snow scene, and just small part of the opening of the snow scene.
Okay, let's do a quick. Why don't you give us a little performance here, and then we're going to want to check back in with you after they're done. So take it away, sir.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I'm stepping away. Okay.
Wow. Incredible.
Wow, that is going to bring the house down.
Have a million claps in here. I don't think it would still be enough.
Know,
thank you so much, Alexi.
Absolutely
and please thank the dancers for us. One more time, when are you guys going to be performing this? And if people want more information, where can they go? Well, we will have more information. We'll make sure to post that on our website, fox32chicago.com. You could look under links you saw on Fox 32. Incredible. Thank you so much, Alexi, again with A&A Ballet.
Absolutely beautiful.
You can see that show on December 6th.
They're going to bring the house down.
Special.
Very, very cool. And I love that they chose the Art Deco theme. My favorite buildings in the city of Chicago are the 1920s, the Border Trade building, the Jewelers building, that was kind of Chicago's golden.
Fitting.
Yeah, it's very how cool. Yeah, and we'll be sure to post tons of information on how to get in on that performance of the beloved Nutcracker A&A with their performance starting on December 6th. So I guess we'll go to break.
Yeah, let's go to break.
And wrap things up when we come back. Alexi, if you can still hear us, thank you so much, sir, for sharing that wonderful performance. You are going to bring the house down.
To beat only Wednesdays on Fox and watch anytime on Hulu.
Get great gifts for
a free postal service for special messages. We're talking with the creator who's in studio with us. Welcome, Charlie Dean. Thank you very much.
Hi, thank you so much. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're so patient, and I love the outfit. Isn't it perfect?
The pants, the Dickies pants.
Okay, so
those are great.
Charlie, I haven't heard of Dickies brand in a while. My brother used to always wear that, and he was like some skater kid, you know? So Charlie, you deliver mail and reads mail free of charge. The sender just has to stay patient because it may take a while to get there. I'm hearing it takes anywhere between, Anthony, get this, 1 to 58 weeks. Anywhere.
Between 1 and 50, yeah.
That's the window, yeah.
That's the window.
If something seems really urgent, I will try to get it done faster.
What inspired this project? I mean, I'm amazed.
Well, I've always been really interested in sort of what having a mediator or an intermediary in a type of communication does to the way two people talk to each other. And so I thought it would be funny to try to get people to talk, and what I'm looking for really is some serious stuff. I want people to break up, or like I want people to confess their feelings for each other. And I sort of want to be the guy who delivers that interesting news, good news, bad news, life-altering news.
This is fascinating. You've been doing this. You launched this public art project about a month ago, and in the footage we're looking at right now, there's some very specific instructions on the mailbox itself. Will you run us through those so people get an idea of exactly what you do?
Yeah, exactly. So when you come to the mailbox, it's in Logan Square at 2741 North Drake Avenue.
There it is.
You can bring, I have these little sheets here if you didn't bring a letter from home, or you can bring your own letter from your house, and you can address this either specifically or ambiguously. So that could be, you know, someone's address, full name and address, their name and phone number, or something like the one who got away, the man I saw on the train with a mohawk, a person with cool pants. And I'll do my best within 58 weeks to find this person and deliver your message to them.
How will you do, if I address something to the one who got away, don't worry, Maggie, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
all right?
Calm down, Maggie.
How would you know where to take it? Does there have to be a specific address on there?
I do require your name and phone number. So I do some digging into the sender as well as the recipient, and try to find the most likely person. There's no guarantees that I'll get it right.
Right.
Okay, have you been able to, you know, give any of those pressing messages to anyone yet?
Well, so far it's been very, you know, sort of nice and pleasant, which is great. I've been telling people to have a great day. I did frighten a woman the other day because I think someone was pranking her and wrote a letter addressed from her cat to her that I read, and so. Yeah, she didn't want to talk to me face to face. So in that case, what I do usually is I leave a QR code on their door with a video of me reading the message. Because I don't want it to lose that personal touch.
Right.
But I don't want to just drop off the message, but I do still have to get the recipient the message.
Okay, so you're still getting the word out about this postal service, Charlie.
That's right.
It's only been online really for like a month. How many letters so far? Like estimate.
Yeah, I've made about a dozen deliveries out of about 25 total. Some I've been putting off because they're quite far. I have to go to Sacramento, Ellicott City, Maryland, Washington, D.C. I think it's likely I'll be around those places in the next 15 weeks, so that's fine. I have deputized other Charlie Deans in other places of the world. Years ago, I started a group chat on Instagram with every Charlie Dean I could find.
Do they get a uniform and a hat?
I would have to send one, if it came
you want it to be official.
But no, now I know a guy in the UK who said he's willing to work with me on this. So,
great. Is your name really Charlie Dean?
That is my name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I am just... I'm blown away because this is so cool. So, you know, what you first want this message to be, you know, mission to be, because it's, you know, public art project. Did you want to, you know, just take all these videos and show them off one day, like almost make a documentary?
Yeah, sure. I'm filming all of them, and some of them that are interesting are getting released, and some are just for the archives or for the sender of the message gets video proof of delivery. Yeah, I'm interested in sort of studying how people talk to each other and what it does to communication when you stick a guy like me just sort of in the middle of it, kind of playing telephone, and how the message might change based on the nature of... There's no guarantee I'll read the message verbatim. I sort of might summarize or soften or sort of offer my advice as the messenger. So sort of playing with that way... having a guy like me in between two people affects
and there's no, I mean, I want to say there's an element of privacy because it would just be you and the sender and the recipient, but you will be eyeballing these messages.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And do they have to be sent on your form, that green note?
No.
Or can you?
These are a courtesy, but you can.
Those are courtesy.
Yeah, you can bring whatever you like from your house, but this is just for foot traffic. If you're walking by.
What about three-dimensional objects? What are the parameters there?
Yeah, I do accept parcels. They might sort of arrive transformed or altered or or replicated, perhaps. Yeah, an exact replica. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't got one yet, but we'll see.
You haven't gotten a three-dimensional object yet?
Maybe you could
just
be
yet.
the first Anthony.
No, well, my wheels are spinning right
Logan
now.
Square, yeah.
Because I like this a lot. This is actually, you know, I don't know if you know this about me, Gabby. I used to, for a time, drive Lyft.
Interesting.
Before I came to Fox, and it was not dissimilar to what Charlie is doing. I set up microphones in the back, and whatever passenger got in the car, I would have kind of a topic of the week, and I'd discuss that with them. Yeah, it was a whole podcast. It was a weekly thing. But like you, I was interested in capturing people's stories, everyday people's stories, and this is why I'm actually fascinated by the project too, because I'm curious what people are saying to one another, and you know, I don't know. There's something. It's kind of the storytelling from everyday people, not famous people, not celebrities, or anyone with an agenda. We're literally talking about everyday people, the creatures of the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
You know.
Obviously, you're posting these videos online, right?
Yeah, they're on CharlieDeanPostalService.com and my Instagram. Those are video proof of the deliveries.
What's your Instagram handle?
Charlie.f.dean.
Okay,
But
you gotta make the F clear.
if you go there, if you go to CharlieDeanPostalService.com,
you'll see all of it.
There will be a link.
There you go.
Okay, during your deliveries thus far that you've made, I know we're at the beginning of this project. What kinds of response? I mean, the uniform looks very like unthreatening.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You don't exactly look like, oh my gosh, I'm not answering the phone or answering the door here. What kinds of responses have you gotten so far?
Yeah, well, I am still a stranger, and I don't think people like to answer their doors anymore.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's fine, and I understand it. But I was standing outside of someone's door for a while, and they were like very clearly home and expecting me too, because I think they had sent a message to their partner, and they were both there at the same time. But only when I said, okay, I'm going to leave it here, and then I walked away, and then they opened the door.
Okay.
So yeah.
They wanted some distance.
So right, yeah, and I understand that, but people are apprehensive. Yeah.
Do you think that, you know, my dad's a postal carrier?
Oh, he is?
Yeah, do you think that there's a little bit of competition between, or is it equal playing ground? Like, is there going to be an anchorman situation sometimes with us news people, where they're going to feud?
Go back
Are
and
you
forth.
giving them their respect?
Yeah, I'm nothing but respect for I'm a very poor alternative to the United States Postal Service. But it is actually illegal to compete with the USPS.
I didn't know that.
It is, but I think, you know, I'm not charging, and I don't have the volume really necessary to be competition.
But where do you want this to end up? Obviously, more and more people, you want deeper and deeper messages.
I'd love
to see it in like another month.
I'd love to open new drop boxes, maybe in locations with more foot traffic, thinking at like a bar or like public park, somewhere where people might be walking. And a pad like this, because I want to capture people, you know, spontaneously sort of deciding to write something as opposed to having to make a journey to my specific Dropbox.
Are you going to document, like, let's say you do have to go to Maryland or down to Texas or Florida, are you going to be documenting your, I mean, I see a truck in these videos here.
I film the whole thing.
I love this. I have to ask you, and I probably should have asked you right off the top of the interview, but when it comes to ideas like this, can you walk me through the moment that you thought, I mean, this is a wild idea. It really is.
Yeah.
What was the moment where you said, okay, because like, this is a whole vision here.
Yeah, honestly, I think as an artist, the initial genesis was just, I liked the shape of those blue boxes.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about those, and I wanted to make one out of plywood. And so I sort of started working on that, and I'm like, well, I could just follow through and start delivering these messages. And I've always been very interested in the way people talk to each other and the way the medium influences the message, right? So I think it came from the sculptural point of view and from this sort of social point of view, and I wanted to see what would happen.
What about Charlie Dean away from this? You know, what do you do on your everyday life? Are you just a true artist? The things that you're trying to, like, you know, come up with be a little different?
I suppose so, yeah. I'm an artist. I work as a carpenter and a stagehand, building sets for live events. That's my day job. But other than that, yeah, I'm an artist and a filmmaker.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, we get cues from behind the scenes a little bit, so that was just a whiteboard saying that you're doing a great job. But you know what trips me out? Your camera. Is that at the top of your hat, and it kind of just gives you another view?
Yeah, that's a 360-degree camera, just sort of clipped right to the brim. That might be why people are a little afraid of me. So I have to work on that, yeah, because it sort of protrudes out there. But then you can flip it around, and I get a view of myself and a view of the person I'm talking to.
I'm really fascinated. Cool. How long is Charlie Dean Postal Service going to be available? You know, is there a deadline? Because I could see around Valentine's Day.
I definitely want to run through Valentine's.
Okay, because there's a lot of, you know, I'm going to get the details wrong, but you know, if you want to send either your sweetheart or an ex, here's the thing. You can sponsor like a cockroach at the zoo or so. You know what I mean? You can name things, and you know, so I could see there you getting some great material for this project around Valentine's Day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know. So what do you think time frame wise?
You know, it's until I get bored or it becomes untenable financially or other time wise.
Right.
But I'm definitely running it, I would say, into the summer of 2026.
I love it.
Have you gotten that attraction yet that you're hoping for? Is it starting to catch on a little bit more?
I mean, online people have been...
I will be following along.
It's been quite buzzy, but the actual mail I've received, some of it has been... a little dull.
I feel like Charlie one of these days.
Hi, how are you? I am fine.
It is this.
We are going to swap you. Yeah. That is so cool. I love it.
Well, we're going to have you back.
Absolutely.
Because I could see this going in a number of directions. It could be a multimedia project, it could be an exhibit. It could be a documentary series. I mean, I want to see where this adventure takes you. We're at the beginning stages, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is... I think we're getting early access
we are.
to
This is kind of like an exclusive,
the Charlie Dean
ChicagoNOW exclusive.
The CDPS, if you will. Not a competitor with USPS.
No, let's make that clear.
It's an art project.
Dad, calm down over there.
Okay, all right. So easy, federal officials. All right. Charlie, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me
here.
Yeah.
Happy trails. Be safe out there.
Absolutely,
yeah. Be safe out there. Okay. Oh, once again, the address if they want to drop off at the post office box for the CDPS. Where is it located now?
That's at 2741 North Drake Avenue. That's in Chicago, 60647.
Okay. That's where. Yeah, Logan Square neighborhood.
Yeah. Are you ready to?
This is Dr. Mira Albert. She's a pediatric dentist and owner at Brush Pediatric Dentistry, and we are talking dental emergencies, which, knock on all of the wood, I haven't had to deal with.
There's no wood over here.
But these kiddos, I tell you what, the way they try to just hurt themselves, teeth getting knocked out, maybe cracked. When do you go to the dentist? When do you not? Is it an emergency? Are we okay? So let's get into it. First of all, what kind of dental emergencies are you seeing as of late?
Okay, so it's crazy, right? Like the dentist is off, turkey bowl's on, cousins show up.
Yeah.
Tooth emergencies occur. So
yes.
It never rarely happens, like Murphy's Law, rarely happens during the day, right? So, you know, typically when I get called with a dental emergency, the very first thing I want to know is when did it happen, how did it happen, who was there, all the questions. But I also want to know, did anything medical happen, right? If they're getting hit in their teeth, there's a chance that they also got a head injury. So we want to make sure that there's no medical emergency that occurred. So we ask, did your child pass out? And if they did, we want to go right to the emergency room first to have a full neurological assessment to make sure everything's okay on that front and that the child didn't sustain a concussion. Once we sort of rule that out, then we have a couple questions to kind of triage, like, is this something that we need to take care of right away, or is this something that can wait until the dental office opens on the next business day? The good news is most things can wait, but there are a few that are really time sensitive. So what I really think through is it a baby tooth or is it a permanent tooth? Right? Was the tooth completely knocked out or severely displaced? Is it chipped? How bad is the chip? And then is your child in excruciating pain for some reason? Those are kind of the questions that we ask. When we think of dental emergencies, a true dental emergency that is very time sensitive and really important to go over is when a child knocks out a full permanent tooth. And it's different if it's a baby tooth. If it's a full permanent tooth, it's really important that we handle this in under 60 minutes. So this is a true emergency. Yes.
Wait, so okay, if they get knocked out, we're going to the dentist instead of to the emergency room?
Well, it kind of depends. You'll have to, call your dentist, make sure that they can meet you. If they can't meet you, you're going to want to go to an emergency room, but you want to make sure that there's a dentist on call at that emergency room, and specifically a pediatric dentist if the tooth is knocked out.
But why? Because of infection?
No, because the root of the tooth is covered with these cells that we need to keep vital, and the best way to keep them vital is to reinsert the tooth right back into the socket. I know it's gross. This is what happens.
Wait, mom and dad are supposed to do this?
Yeah.
Don't stick it in milk.
If you're too queasy to put it back in the socket, you can of course transport it in milk or transport it in the cheek if you're not worried about your child swallowing it until you get to a dentist who can reinsert it, or a nurse or a doctor that can reinsert it.
That's great information. I didn't know you're supposed to do that.
It's really important, and when we get the tooth reinserted in under 60 minutes, studies show that we have good success at keeping the tooth. If it's longer than 60 minutes, that success rate goes down, and it's such a bummer to lose a front tooth. So we really want to get that tooth reimplanted in the socket. Right, so let's say this happens, knocks out a permanent tooth. Oh my gosh, find the tooth first.
What if the root gets broken inside the gums?
Good question. That's kind of a different injury. That's more of a significant injury where then we're probably going to lose the tooth. The tooth is broken off.
Okay, so we lose the tooth, full tooth on the ground.
Full tooth on the ground. You want to pick it up, look at it, pick it up by the crown though, not by the root, because remember we have those cells that vital. And I know it's hard to think through this, but you want to look at it as long as it's, you don't have to clean it off really.
Oh, no.
You just want to put it back in the socket. If it's really dirty and you do need to clean it off, rinse it with milk, okay? And then reinsert it into the socket, and it really doesn't even matter the orientation. The dentist will turn it around. You do have to get to the dentist right away though, because we have to splint it and stabilize the tooth, but we want to get, again, the root into the socket as quickly as possible.
So will the emergency room kind of do that, especially if they have an on-call dentist? Then yes, once you go there and there is a little bit of head injury, but you still got to take care of both things. So they'll also be able to do somewhat that.
Right. If there's a head injury, they're not worried about the tooth. They're worried about the head, right? But hopefully, if you go to an emergency room, they're well trained enough to get that tooth reimplanted as soon as possible. But that's kind of the most time-sensitive dental emergency, and we see it all the time. I mean, we just had one last week in our office.
No way.
We did, yeah. So, I mean, we do see it frequently, so I like parents to know, get it in the socket if you can. Now, if it's a baby tooth, do not put it back in the socket. Strict rule, never put them back in the socket. That's a big no-no for a couple of reasons. One, it's not going to live. And two, you might damage the permanent tooth, which is
underneath the baby tooth already developing. So you leave that out, but you'll want to make sure that you find it, right? Because sometimes kids knock a tooth out and they swallow it or choke on it, so make sure you can locate it. And if you can't locate it, you want to head to the emergency room. You might have to get a chest x-ray or belly x-ray to see where is this tooth. Did they swallow it? Did they not swallow it? So you want to make sure you can get all the fragments, okay? So that's kind of knocked out tooth, one of the more serious.
Is it bad if they swallow it?
Well, if they swallow it, usually then the instruction is just to kind of watch it pass through.
Okay.
But if they choke on it, that's more, like if it's in the lungs, that's more serious than the lung. So, and that can happen.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Stop.
Okay, so you mentioned it kind of in your explanation, but quickly, so you would be able to, if you did everything right, kept it in the socket, as maybe a teenager, they're able to just like carry it around. They're able to just put that front tooth back in at some point.
Yeah, and we have good success actually. There needs to be some treatments, like I said, and some follow-ups pretty immediately that need to occur, but we do have good success with teeth that are reimplanted within an hour. So permanent teeth that are reimplanted within an hour.
Okay, what if they're cracked?
Okay, so cracked and chipped teeth, it kind of depends on how significantly. Minor chips and cracks, you can definitely try to wait until, the next business day. If it's into the nerve, we have to figure out how much pain are they in? Can we get through the weekend? Do they need to see a root canal specialist? So that you're definitely going to want to call your pediatric dentist and go over the injury with them, and they're really going to guide you. This is why it's so important to establish a dental home by age 1, like I always say when I come on the show. First birthday, board-certified pediatric dentist. This is the American Academy of Pediatric Dentistry recommendation, because you don't want the first visit to be an emergency. And then if the tooth is cracked, try to find the fragment, because again, pediatric dentists are wizards at reattaching the natural tooth. It's amazing. If you can find the fragment, just keep it kind of moist, and then we can typically reattach the fragment. The other thing, though, is sometimes when we have these injuries and we fracture a tooth, we get soft tissue injuries too, so lip lacerations and contusions. Sometimes the fragment goes into the lip, so we have to look for it there sometimes, which is kind of crazy, but it happens. And those injuries need to be managed as well with saltwater rinses. Like I said, sometimes suturing. The soft tissues tend to heal up very quickly in children, so a couple days they're looking a lot better. And then of course there's displaced teeth as well. So they don't totally knock them out, they don't chip them, but they knock them out of place, kind of like a shoulder injury. So there we want to reposition the tooth. So you want to talk with the dentist again, call your dentist, and they'll guide you through next steps of how to reposition the tooth. And then, we really want to talk about prevention, right? So the idea is we don't want these injuries to occur, and sometimes they just happen, but there are a lot of things that we can do to prevent them, right?
Okay.
So toddler age, kind of where you're sitting and
head first off the couch.
Yes, head first off the couch, in and out of the bathtub, running around with socks on. Some of the most serious injuries are let's turn off the lights and play Ghosts in the Graveyard in the basement. Boom, collisions, right? Yeah, so
everything.
Kind of trying to limit that stuff, watching them on the jungle gyms, being there to make sure they're not falling and that kind of thing. So just common sense things, not always going to be avoidable.
Literally, he could be walking between my legs on the sidewalk, and I have my arms out like this, and somehow he will head plant into the ground.
I know, and it's always a teeth. It's use your hands, not your teeth.
Oh my gosh.
And then anything on wheels. Getting on uneven sidewalks, that's another dangerous one. So being careful with that. But a lot of injuries occur during sports, right? And everybody thinks hockey and football, right? But in high school and in grade school, they have this protective equipment. It's actually basketball, baseball, field hockey. They're the biggest.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
Yes. My own son, 3 dental traumas, during his little basketball career.
And you're watching, you're like, I got it, I'm coming. My mom's here.
My husband played hockey for 20 years, and luckily, knock on wood, never got a tooth out or anything like that. But yeah, because they have the helmets.
They have all the gear, but when they're younger, hockey injuries occur after hockey practice when they go out on the ice and they're not wearing their stuff. But that's when I've seen hockey injuries. So you definitely want to encourage use of a mouth guard. So I brought a couple. There's 3 or 4 different types. There's these stock guards that you put over, you can put over braces. They don't fit you very well. They're a little harder to breathe. This one has a little bit of a breathing hole in front of it. The football players think these are really cool. They come in bright colors. They can breathe a little bit. Again, it's a stock, so it's not custom. There's kind of an in-between, the one over there. That's a boil and bite, so you warm it up and shape it to the teeth.
Cool.
it's pretty good. And then the final one is one that you can get custom from your dentist, and that fits like perfectly like a glove, and the soft tissue is really comfortable, really breathable. The issue is they're more expensive, and I mean, if your kids are anything like my kids, you go through them like 2 and 3 a season, they get kind of gross.
Okay.
So you have to replace them often. But mouth guards are huge. I wish we could make them cool and sports like basketball and baseball where
it's hard.
It's just not,
I've got a question. So my kids, I just take them to the dentist that I go to, and they're so sweet. They're not a pediatric dentist, though. Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, it is okay. I think the distinction is that as pediatric specialists, we spend an extra 2 or 3 years training to see children, and we're so much more aware of sort of all the issues surrounding children. And we also have all the tips and tricks to get kids to cooperate. And God forbid if they need treatment, we have our team is so skilled at calming kids down and talking them through tough procedures, because it's not always a walk through the park when you're getting dental treatment done. We have all kinds of different things that we use. And then growth and development, baby teeth are different than permanent teeth. So there are some things that we might choose to do differently than an adult dentist. And I'm married to an adult dentist, and he's like,
no way!
You're
a dental couple?
You're a dental couple.
Did you guys go to dental school together?
We did not. Actually, game week, it's like Michigan versus Ohio State. He went to Ohio State, I went to Michigan. So I'm just
so
blue,
so
and I know my son is watching right now.
Split household. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I think in the situation where you have a dental emergency, super important to just stay calm and not panic, even though it can be really scary. Again, reach out to your pediatric dentist. They're going to be able to guide you and help you and talk you through what to do. American Academy of Pediatric Dentistry has this awesome website, which I've mentioned before, mychildrensteeth.org. Great resources there that can guide you through a lot of these situations. Our website at Brush for Kids, www.brushforkids.com, is another wonderful resource where you can get all kinds of information.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Dr. Mira Albert, thank you so much for coming, because yes, we know that these things don't typically happen during the 9 to 5 work week, right? They're going to happen, unfortunately, probably on holidays or on the weekend or such.
Do you have an emergency line? Is that?
We do.
Okay.
We do. And we always have a doctor on call 24/7.
Okay.
We do. And we call back. And I would say 9.5 times out of 10, it's just about, talking parents through it. This is okay. We can see your child on Monday. But, if we get a tooth knocked out, I'm leaving my family and heading into the office.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah, and it happens. I mean, last year it happened. I mean, my husband and I sat down. It was a Friday night. Our kids were out with their friends, and we sat down and we were like, oh my goodness, like, should we have some dinner? Should we go out? And then the emergency line goes
No way.
It was a knocked out tooth.
No way.
Never mind.
But you know what? Like, when you can do that, you change somebody's life. Right?
Yeah.
When you put a tooth back in like 30 minutes.
And that parent is going to be just melting
Doctor,
for you.
Unfortunately, you probably can't fix this.
Save big money on
Pastor Mike Jr. is here. Can you sing us a little something? That's how I like to wake up in the morning.
As soon as he sat down.
This will be the year that I break every cycle. Let me testify, right hand on the Bible.
I know that song.
That's it right there. That's all you get right there. Early morning voice.
It's okay. Wayne paid for a ticket. That's all we deserve. Okay, so you were in Country Club Hills last night.
That's right, the amphitheater.
Yeah, and I told you my mother-in-law FaceTimed us, and I was like, how did I miss the show? Where was I at?
It was crazy.
They said it was lit.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Did you enjoy yourself? Was that your first time being at that venue? Because that's a small venue, but a lot of people come out for that.
Yeah, so we were actually, they only do one gospel show a year there. They do a lot of R&B, man. So we were able to go. It was an incredible event. Great crowd came out, man. It's always fun to me. I probably stayed an hour and a half afterwards just hugging and taking pictures, so that always means the most to me.
I love that. So you are a celebrity, but you don't operate like a celebrity. But you travel like a celebrity. You got everybody up in here.
I roll deep. You know, I believe there's a blessing and connection. And so everywhere I go, I made God a promise probably 9 years ago that if he blessed me, those who helped me, every chance I got, I would bring them with me. So that's why this run we're on right now is so special. We just went to the Stellar Awards, and I won Artist of the Year.
I know that.
For the fourth
Congratulations.
year. Yeah. And so Adia won New Artist, and then my
Where
guy.
you at, Adia?
Adia's right
back there. Look at Adia. Look at how beautiful.
Then the guy who has the video camera with me, he said, Pastor, I'm going to do your music video. I said, let's do it. He won Music Video of the Year.
Congratulations.
So I'm excited for him.
We have a bunch of award winners in the house.
Everybody around me winning. So that's what it's all about, yeah.
Okay, so you're leading both ministry and also your music career. As someone like you, how do you keep the balance while also, you know, keeping you grounded in your calling?
Yeah, so I don't believe in order. That's the worst thing somebody told me. You got to keep your life in order. Order speaks of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe in orbit. The same way the solar system revolves around the S-U-N, my life revolves around the S-O-N. You know, so there are days where one time I was on family vacation and one of our members that was close to us passed. I had to look at my kids and say, hey, y'all, vacation over, Dad got to go. And my family understood that. Conversely, there was one time I stood up in church and said, hey, y'all, the boys, it's their senior year. Y'all won't see me for 6 weeks. That was their senior year. I wanted to make sure we had a senior trip. They had everything they need. So it's orbit. Right now we're doing music. I'm only done, this concert I did last night was maybe my 4th of the year. We had like 200 offers this year. But the Holy Spirit told me focus on the church. That was more important right there. So for me, it's just understanding the orbit of my life, not the order of my life.
How do you balance it all? Because one thing you said was that, you know, usually you start your day in the carpool line, which kind of shocked me because most people in your shoes, they hire somebody to do that.
Yeah, nah, my kids gonna know me. The greatest assignment in my life are my 5 babies. You know, that's the legacy I'm gonna leave in this world. After if I do something stupid tomorrow, I'll be on the front page of the newspaper and everybody telling me, we love you, are gonna have an opinion. The 5 people in my house that matter right now, those Michael, Mason, Xander, McKinley, and Miles, just being present, you know, like Friday, I was in the stands screaming loud as I could every time my son scored a touchdown. We done won all these awards. I'm sitting with you guys. I gotta be on a 5 a.m. flight in the morning because I gotta run home and do my daughter's call out. You know, she's a cheerleader, so I got to get in the studio in the morning and say, McKinley, McClure, Hatley, Aubrey, these are your 5th grade Spain Park cheerleader. So to me, that means the world to me, you know, and I don't get too high on myself. Like, all this is great, but at the core, I'm just a cat who from Birmingham, Alabama, love God, love people, gonna keep trying to make a difference.
But they have to notice that, your 5 kids. They notice your dedication, don't they?
It's funny, man. Like, now, they're realizing. At first, I took pride in like, no, that's just Dad. But now, like, my boys came home the other day. They was like, yeah, you ain't like a regular Dad. I'm like, what you mean? All my friends said your dad got drip. I'm like, what's drip? What's drip? Like swag, you know, or like Miles. So Miles, my first ever gospel single, I didn't know what to put on the cover, so I just put a cover. I put him on the cover. He was like 4 or 5. So now he's 8. And so now he's at school telling people, yeah, my dad on TV. So it's cool, you know, but at the end of the day, man, just making sure that when they look back over their life, they'll be able to say, yeah, he was all that, but like, he was always there. That means the most for me, yep.
Yeah, let me ask you, how did you find yourself finding God? There's always a story to how someone, you know, embraces God in their lives.
So for me, I don't have that story where I just lost my mind and God came. My grandfather, I just buried him literally Saturday. Buried him. Dr. King wouldn't move without my granddaddy. So he was 92 years old. Fred Shuttlesworth, Dr. Abernathy, Martin Luther King, they wouldn't do anything without my granddad present. He was the president of the SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference. My father was a pastor, so I was always rooted and grounded in God. Or I want to say this better. I was always rooted and grounded in church. I had to find God, and God and church aren't mutually exclusive. They aren't. You can't have one without the other, but you can't have one sometimes in a season where you don't have the other. So for me, man, it was just always being present in church. And I went to college. I would always come home, and I looked up one day. I pledged Kappa Alpha Psi. I'm on the microphone in the club telling everybody to put their hands up, and to this day, I swear I heard a voice say, "Right crowd, wrong place." And on the microphone, I said, "What?" And my frat bro was like, "Hurry up, fix it." And I finished doing my chant. I heard it the second time. I left the club that night, went to my apartment, sat on the edge of my bed. The next morning, I withdrew from college. That Friday, I went home, told my dad, "I think God is calling me home to help you with the church." He said, "I'm going to kill you. But let's have church Sunday, and Monday, I'm taking you back to school." That Saturday, his church went through a split. That Sunday, he had nobody left to sing. I said, "Dad, I think this is why God called me home." He said, "Just do it today. We'll figure it out." I went out there and sung. A church mother started crying and said, "I believe that's why God brought him home," and the rest is history. You know, so that's my calling into what God's called me to do.
I love it.
I'm just so interested with your 5 kids, you know, them kind of probably looking and leading in your footsteps. Do they have the same relationship with God, with the church that you do, or is it ever evolving? And are you letting them go through that journey themselves?
Yeah, it's ever evolving. It's crazy. I don't want my kids, I want them to have their own relationship with God. I don't force them. You know, when I grew up, we had to be in church every day, all day. When I tell you I was so tired of church, I remember I told my mom one time, I said, "When I get grown, I'm going to let you and God have your own thing. I'm good." You know, so, and I'm glad I went about that. I didn't force it. You know, like our church is what it is, and we have 3 and 4 services, and it's always crazy. But this past Sunday, I didn't go to church. You know, this past Sunday, I'm on break, so I'm like spending time with the kids. They're getting back in school, football season starting. I want them to see me, and I'm in there laying down in the bed, and all of a sudden, Mike knocked on the door. "All right, I'll be back. I got to work cameras." And so they're finding their own path to God, and that's what means the most to me. Because if they're doing it for me, it's not going to last. They have to have their own personal relationship with God.
I know you have a new age sound.
Yeah.
Much more newer than what I grew up to. So when I grew up, when Kirk Franklin was coming on the scene, I grew up in the church too.
Yeah.
It was like, don't nobody want to listen to that because it was so new and nobody was used to it.
Yeah.
Your sound, I think, has space right now because of people like Kirk Franklin. What do you think about your sound and you having a voice to kind of reel in some of the young people that may not really be familiar with God like that?
Yeah, gospel music is the only genre of music where the message plus the melody equals a miracle. And so everybody keeps saying, "Man, what you're doing is so fresh." I tell them, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just trying to put some 20s on it. You know what I'm saying? There's a generation out there right now, and that's the blessing of having teenagers. They keep me like my ear to the street. Like, "Oh, Dad, this is what this is. Who is that right there?" "Oh, right there. That's Playboy Cardi." Like, "Oh, okay, let me listen to it." Boom. "All right, Dad, listen like this so-and-so, so-and-so." So for me, what I'm trying to do is take the sonics of what they love, but put a message on it that'll heal them. And so what we're seeing right now, we dropped the album July 11th called Confetti and Conspiracies. Confetti represents win. Conspiracy represents losses. A lot of people don't know that there's this tension between when God is blessing and you're losing. Like, people see you two on TV and think they're beautiful, they're smart, they're intelligent. Life has to be great. They don't have a clue that when that light go out and this microphone comes off, what you're wrestling with personally. And so we dropped that album on July 11th, and we got the phone call this morning, "Hey, you already have 40 million streams."
Go ahead now.
And we're sitting here like, okay, and then we go on TikTok. God's showing out is at 30,000 uses. And so what we're trying to do now is meet people where they are. I'm trying to take this thing called gospel with relevant, relatable lyrics. You know, like one song I got called Pray. I said, "I put this on my mama. Where the devil put a period, God put a comma." And all the kids like, "He put it on his mama." You know, but I heard them arguing downstairs like, "Oh, my mama." You know, so for me, just trying to reach them where they are. And when I go to TikTok and I see them use it in their football highlights and in their pages, it lets me know that God's not dead. Gospel music's not dead. There's a generation that really wants it. We just got to make sure we're doing what Grandmama said in that old hymn, to serve this present age, my calling to fulfill.
I had a real quick follow-up to that, because it makes me think about some of these collaborations with some of the artists that people would say are not, you know, gospel artists, like a Glorilla, for example. What do you make? What do you make of those kind of collaborations?
Yeah, so I was sitting at the BET Awards, right? And I was in the category with Glorilla and Kurt. And of course, I wanted to win. I wanted to win so bad. I had already had my speech planned. I already had 2 TikToks where I was going to be like, I was going to say, everybody wanted to know what I would do if I was. So I had already had the TikTok plan. And so when they called their name, I clapped. And of course, the whole industry went into uproar, right? I saw a post that messed me up. This girl said, hey, I've been binge listening to you. She inboxed me, I've been binge listening to you. So I pulled the phone out, and you can message back on IG. I said, hey, thank you so much. I'm praying for you, yada. She sent a message that said, I'm a huge Glorilla fan, had never heard of you. When she did the gospel song, I started typing in gospel. Your Amen song came up. She said, I got it. I've been working out to it. And it made me take a step back and say, okay, we can have all our own preferences, but what if God was using them to expose us to a different genre of people? What I've discovered is, being from the South, the bait you use determines the fish you catch. You can't catch a certain type of fish without the right type of bait. And to me, when I see that, I say, okay, God, you use the Glorilla as a bigger bait to catch a bigger fish, which are people who weren't exposed to gospel. So I think the real key is transformation and not clout chasing. You know, are you doing it for the right reasons versus, if I get this person, my streams will go up? And so that's to each his own.
I could listen to you all day.
I know.
No kidding. So I gotta ask, with all these different songs, with all these different albums, do you have one message that you try to convey in one album or in one song, or is it a couple messages in each piece?
Whenever I put a body of work together, it's not just music. I got too much going on in life to just drop music. It's what's my message for the next 12 months. And so, like, even with the last project, during the pandemic, it was big. We had dropped a song called Big, and it's gonna be big. I was in bankruptcy at that time. Like, I didn't have no money for Christmas that year. My church leaders came together. I've always kind of had this mindset, if it's his will, it's his bill. One of the stigmas on the African American church was, what, especially the mega church, what was the pastor doing with the money? So 12 years ago, I stopped raising offerings at my church, and it was freely give, freely receive. As a consequence, I took the brunt of that. You know, so I wrote Big in a season where everything was little. But my message for that year was, we're going to keep trusting God. It was prophetic.
Did you know